Incredible. It's okay though, just for when you read it. And then just get my headphones.
According to Palm Beach International Equestrian Complex, BZ Madden was the first woman equestrian to earn over $1 million in prize money. It is important to the equestrian world to get women more involved in the professional rankings. Now I'll be talking about how BZ Madden is showing girls how we can make it in the industry. Now I will discuss who BZ Madden is and how she made it in the industry. BZ Madden was born in Milwaukee on November 20th, 1963. She received her first pony as a Christmas gift at the age of 6. She began competing at the Grand Prix level in 1985. Horses have been a family affair for Madden. Her parents, Joe and Kathy Patton, owned a horse farm in Wisconsin. BZ and her husband, John, operate a stable in Cazenovia, New York. BZ has had many firsts in the equestrian world. Madden has set standards for show jumping in many ways. In 2004, she became the first woman and the first American rider to reach the top 3 in the show jumping world ranking list. Madden is also the only 4-time USEF Equestrian of the Year. In 2014, Madden became the first woman to win King George Gold Cup at Hickstead with Cortez C. BZ also became the first woman and one of only a few riders to achieve back-to-back victories in the King George V Cup, when she repeated the victory with Cortez C in 2015. In April of 2013, Madden won the FEI World Cup Finals Championship in Gothenburg, Sweden, aboard Abigail Wexner's horse Simon. Madden is only the 5th woman ever to win the FIE World Cup Finals. Madden is also an individual Olympic bronze medalist and a member of the 2 gold medal U.S. teams from the 2004 and 2008 Olympic Games. BZ had always been in a horse-involved family. BZ said to Refinery 29 during an interview, "My parents always had horses since I was born, so I kind of grew up in a stable. For us, having horses was like having a dog or something, and I started going to riding school when I was 4. When I was 6 or 7, I started competing, obviously at a very low level with ponies and stuff. I showed my first jumper when I was 17 years old, and I think my first international competition was when I was in my early 20s. I compete in equestrian show jumping, and that involves jumping obstacles that are 5 or 6 feet in height, some fences which can be up to 6 or 7 feet wide, and the fences come down very easily. It is very technical. Each course is unique and different. We never know what's going to be presented to us, so it's difficult to prepare for everything. I think when people see it, especially live, they appreciate the harmony between horse and rider and how they work together. It's hard to see the difficulty, especially when you only see people who do it well. It looks easier, maybe like the horse is doing most of it. In the Olympic Games, it's hard because you see the best of the best, but in their competitions, you may be able to see the difficulty of it when you see a rider that's not at the same level. She has had a lot of female influences in her life. During the same interview, when asked about sexism in the equestrian world, BZ said, "One of my instructors, her name is Katie Monahan Prudent, I really looked up to her, and I was really lucky to start with her as a student. A couple of years later, she offered me a job as a working student. I was with her for like 5 years when she got me my first opportunities to ride at a Grand Prix level and international levels. I looked up to her, as she was one of the best competitors and women riders in the world. And she's a great instructor as well. I can't say that because it's so common in our sport to compete against women, but I believe that women can compete equally because it's a lot about technique and not so much about strength. She also has a lot of advice for her fans. When asked to give advice to her younger female fans, she said, "Find something that you have a passion in, and that's probably what you have the most success at. I'm so lucky to have a passion for riding horses, and I have a passion for competition, and I'm able to do probably what I would want to do as a hobby, as a profession. I think that's the key. When you have a passion for something, that's what you're going to be successful at. So if that's what you want to do, go for it." Now I'm going to show you a video of BZ talking about her passion for the sport.
I'd say what drives me is a competitive nature to be the best. I think it's a real game of concentration, putting yourself in the horse's head a little bit. I hear the rhythm of the horse covering the ground, the breathing of the horse, and the horse gives you the feeling of flight. You feel like you grow with them, and you train them, and you teach them, and they really become a part of the family.
In conclusion, BZ Madden is a very successful woman who has paved the way for future female equestrians. There shouldn't be such stereotypes in this sport.